All right, so the first lesson in automation and robotics is going to be called the sandwich algorithm. I want you to think about how you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you were to give somebody instructions, would you say something like, you spread the peanut butter on the bread? Well, that could be a little difficult for a robot to understand because it doesn't know how to pick up the knife or where you got the peanut butter from or any of the other individual smaller steps that go into doing something that's a larger function, like creating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So, we've gone into the automation and robotics PDF. You may have this on your iPads or you may have it in some other form. If you go to the table of contents, this is clickable. So under lesson 1, which is chapter 2, the sandwich algorithm, go ahead and click on it. One of the things that's interesting about this PDF is you can click on any of these underlined words right here, and that will bring up a definition for what you're looking for. In the sandwich algorithm, the idea is that you're going to try and make a sandwich. You're going to provide the best steps possible, and the other person is going to do exactly what you tell them. You can give the step numbers, directions, and completed. However, instead of creating a sandwich, what we're going to do is we're going to use the parts that are available to us that don't use any electronics that are in the cabinet. So that includes the motion parts, the steel parts, and the fastener parts. We're going to put those together in some way to make a thing. You're going to describe how to build it, and you're going to have somebody else then build it. Please don't show what you create to other people because it needs to be a surprise so that they can come up with their own idea based off of what you wrote. A big part of this is that you will need to take your own notes and make them clear enough yet easy enough to understand so that somebody else can do this. Now, I strongly recommend that you do not ask me for the names of objects. I may give them to you, but that does not mean that somebody else is going to know what you're talking about. For example, if I refer to something as a black bushing, they may not know what I'm talking about. So for this, what you're going to do is you're going to find 10 total pieces, not including fasteners. Fasteners are screws and nuts and other things that hold parts together. So you could use 5 gears and 5 pieces of steel and make them with into something interesting. So you might have a couple of shafts for the gears to go on, and then you might make a little car out of it. I don't recommend actually making a car out of what you're going to produce because a lot of people make a car and it becomes very obvious. So instead, make something creative. When I did this project, I made a smiley face. So again, the expectation is that you are going to use 10 pieces of robotics materials that do not include any electronics, and the fasteners, like screws and nuts, do not count towards those 10. You are going to build something from what you find, and then you are going to write down instructions. This is going to happen over 2 days. On the first day, we're going to talk about the sandwich algorithm, then you're going to create and take notes on your object. When we come in on the second day, you are going to switch your engineering notebook or take a screenshot of your page if you're using your iPad, and then I'm going to have it switched to somebody else. That person is going to try and build what you created. Then, from there, we are going to see if you can find what you built. And then we're going to talk about exactly what you've learned from this when it comes to creating instructions. Remember, there is too vague of instructions where you don't give enough information, but there's also too precise of information or instructions where you give too much information. So try to strike a balance. Thank you, and enjoy.